or call 1-866-STUBEN for more information. Steuben Trust Company, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Friday, Friday, Friday!
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
It's time for
Okay. Enthusiastic as always, Paul Harvey. Thank you very much. Yes, it is Friday. Finally Friday, the end of the week, and Yahoo, here we go. Here comes the weekend. Man, what another beautiful morning out there. Man, it is just gorgeous. It's a little chilly, of course, right? It's autumn, right? So it just is an absolutely beautiful morning. Brian, the first story you had in your newscast, this lady in Bath who was convicted of, child abuse or something?
Yes.
She put out 2 cigarettes, allegedly.
Twisted is the description was twisted a lit cigarette into her 5-year-old's forehead.
Okay, what? I can't even think of anything to say. Okay, there we go. Yes, also on Brian's newscast there, this is a deadline, or actually it's midnight, so it's about the 20 hours. If you want to register for the November 5th election coming up, this is the deadline. Mail-in voter registration forms must be postmarked by midnight to be valid for the upcoming general election. If you have a New York driver's license, non-driver ID card, or learner's permit, you can register online up until midnight. And New Yorkers wanting to register in person may do so at the County Board of Elections and at most state agency offices throughout the state. But, once again, it's got to be by midnight. The voter registration form can be downloaded at the website elections.ny.gov, G-O-V. And applicants can also find forms at state and federal government offices, local public libraries, and post offices. And remember that for the first time, New York will offer early voting for this election starting on October 26th and running through Sunday, November 3rd. So please contact your local Board of Elections for times and locations where early voting will be offered in your area. So there you go. The pretty important stuff there. Very important to vote. That's right. Let me see here. Well, I have... Once again, I have a whole bunch of stuff this morning, and some of it is, actually, probably most of it is pretty weird stuff here. Let me see, where do I start? Well, the climate change lunatics, climate change activists, that's right, are at it again. The Extinction Rebellion, I think I mentioned that either earlier this week or last week. It's this really far-out left-wing climate thing, protesters or something, Extinction Rebellion. Well, they were at it again yesterday. Protesters in New York City brought traffic to a standstill in Times Square. So let me see, and other places around the world, including London. Anyway, so protesters in New York transported a green boat on a trailer into Times Square. Now, you normally don't find boats of any color in Times Square, but there it was. So they sat down and didn't want to move, and a bunch of them were arrested. And the boat bore the logo of the activist group Extinction Rebellion. It also had the words "Act Now" written on it and a string of brightly colored flags. Well, that's kind of nice. Anyway, they had signs, Save Our Future, and protesting the climate, or something like that. Anyway, as I said, a bunch of them were arrested. And eventually traffic was brought back to normal, if it ever is normal in Times Square. Anyway, in London, a climate change activist climbed a British Airways plane at London City Airport. So a video streamed by the group showed the activists clinging to the fuselage. I don't know exactly how that's going to change the climate, but that's what he did, and there you are. Anyway, in a separate incident, a BBC Newsnight editor, Nicholas Watt, tweeted that his flight from London to Dublin had been grounded after a protester stood up to deliver a lecture on climate change, just as the plane was ready to take off. So that thing was grounded, delayed or something. Anyway, so protests taking part in cities around the world, and there you go. So they're protesting climate change. I still don't know. I still don't understand how you can protest the climate changing. I mean, it's gonna change. You're spinning your wheels, pal, because climate's going to change. That's what it does. Okay, speaking about anxiety, whether climate anxiety or whatever anxiety you have, this is from, again, Study Finds, a great website, Study Finds. It's all kinds of studies and research on this and that. It says, we are a nervous nation. Really? 1 in 5 Americans believe they have an undiagnosed anxiety disorder. 1 in 5. So you're anxious, but you don't know really what you're anxious about. I don't exactly understand that. But anyway, it says, anxiety has always been an uncomfortable fact of life. Even the calmest of individuals experience the occasional nervous moment. But is anxiety on the rise in modern society? That's what this whole show is about. I mean, people are just gone totally lunatic. Anyway, is anxiety on the rise in modern society? According to a new survey of 2,000 Americans, the answer is a resounding yes. A shocking 1 in 5 respondents say they feel anxious so often that they actually believe they're dealing with an undiagnosed anxiety disorder. And I don't want to seem insensitive here, but my advice would be get over it. Okay? At the risk of seeming really insensitive, just get over it. Anyway, the survey by a CBD company polled Americans on their day-to-day anxious feelings and discovered that the average American experiences five anxious moments every day. Alrighty, 5 anxious moments. Interestingly, these anxious moments often lead to feelings of self-consciousness as well. Just, okay, 4 in 10 of little more than 4 in 10 of respondents say they've been overwhelmed by their anxiety, which then causes them to feel embarrassed, which makes them feel more anxious, which makes them feel even more embarrassed. Anyway, in fact, almost 3/4 of respondents say they are embarrassed after every single anxious moment. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm really not. I'm reading this right here. These statistics shine a revealing light on just how far we as a nation have to go to remove the stigma from mental health problems and negative feelings. Among respondents who admit to feeling embarrassed by their anxiety, 6 in 10 say it's because they believe they should be a stronger person, and another 5 in 10, a little more than 5 in 10, say they feel isolated and different from their peers. Really? Your peers feel anxious too? So, okay, everybody's anxious. Okay, so what are Americans' biggest anxiety triggers? Work was listed as the #1 source of anxiety among respondents, with just under half listing it as their most frequent trigger. And that's followed by social events, or going out, financial worries, and romantic relationship issues. All right, who's this? Henry Vincente, CEO of that CBD company. He says, from social anxiety to panic attacks, mental health in America is a very real issue. Our research highlights that, sadly, there is still social stigma surrounding mental health issues, as millions of Americans refuse to seek treatment because they feel embarrassed. More often than not, this anxiety is stimulated by the churning of everyday anxiety inducers that can have lasting effects. Holy mackerel. I mean, okay, let me see. Further, let me see. Our social media. Yes. Social media is contributing significantly to this rise in anxious Americans as well, with 35% of respondents listing Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as major sources of their day-to-day anxiety. When asked why social media is stressing them out so much, respondents said the pressure to be perfect is often too much to handle, as well as the belief that they need to portray themselves as successful and funny online. Furthermore, 7 in 10 respondents say that comparing their lives to other people on social media makes them feel inadequate and unsuccessful. Well, man, if you're going to feel anxious, I just as I said, get over it. Just it's very simple. Get over it. Okay, but anyway, All that anxiety is bound to take a physical toll, and a whopping 9 in 10 Americans say that they're losing sleep due to their anxiety. The average responder reports losing 2 hours of sleep per night, which comes out to 730 hours or 1 month of sleep a year. While it's clear that our culture's approach to anxiety isn't where it needs to be, 8 in 10 respondents say they believe anxiety is more socially acceptable now than it was in the past. Of course it is, because everybody's anxious. So, yeah, right. Anxiety group, climate anxiety groups. Everybody, all right, an undiagnosed anxiety disorder. Man, I don't know. Okay, fine. Well, there goes that. And here is, where did I find this? This is on Fox Business. Anxiety, all righty. I guess I do have a theme this morning, don't I? I do. Half of millennials, have left their jobs over mental health reasons. Young people are spearheading mental health awareness at the workplace. About half of millennials and 3/4 of Gen Zers, that's even younger, have quit their jobs for mental health reasons, according to a new study conducted by Mindshares Partners, SAP, whatever that is, and Quadrix, whatever that is. Anyway, the study was published in the Harvard Business Review. And that's compared to just 20% of respondents overall who said they voluntarily left a job in order to prioritize their mental health, emblematic of a shift in generational awareness. The authors of the report wrote, for baby boomers, the number was the lowest, with less than 10% quitting a job for mental health reasons. All right, it should come as no surprise that younger generations are paving the way for the destigmatization of mental health. A Wall Street Journal article published in March says, let's see, labeled The Millennials, the Therapy Generation. The Therapy Generation, well, that's a great handle, isn't it, though? The Therapy Generation. As today's 20 and 30-somethings are more likely to turn to therapy and with fewer reservations than young people in previous eras did. So, okay, fine. So they're leaving their jobs because of it makes them depressed or something? You know, everybody needs a job, right? Unless you happen to hit the lottery or maybe Publishers Clearinghouse, but everybody needs a job, you know? And you might not like it. It might not be the best thing in the world, but it's better than not having a job, right? So maybe, you know, if you want to find happiness, you're not going to find happiness on the job anyway. You do your job and you're paid, and that should be enough, you know. You're not going to find fulfillment on a job. You're going to find fulfillment outside of a job, in your personal life, right? So if you don't like your job, just either get another job or get over it. I mean, it's very simple. I don't know. Okay, fine. There's that one. So, do we have...
Speaking of therapy...
Okay, let me see. Would this be Rob Carolyn?
It would be, unfortunately. How are you this morning, Jonathan?
Oh, good. So what are you feeling anxious about this morning, Rob? I'm talking about anxiety disorders here. Anything?
My dad's health, actually.
Okay, well, that's a real one. That's real. That's certainly worth being anxious about. Okay, fine.
But you mean things that aren't really a problem?
Well, I just had a story about young people are quitting their jobs in droves over mental health reasons. Apparently, they just can't handle their jobs or they don't like them or something. I don't understand it.
Oh, are we talking about the generation of snowflakes that have been raised in this country?
Oh, I'm so happy you said that. I didn't want to use the word snowflake, but yeah, absolutely. You got it, pal. You got it.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because actually in visiting my dad at the hospital, we noticed all of the nurses are kind of like my age and older. And here at my business, our youngest employee is 46. And we have tried to hire people younger than that, but it doesn't work out because when you tell them, well, you have to work at night and during the weekend and holidays, they look at you as if you're crazy.
Oh, no, really?
And the folks at the hospital said the younger people just want to walk around, be in charge, and carry a clipboard. And that's not how it works. They don't understand. You got to put your time in. That you got to get experience. I really, and I have a 26-year-old, and she was raised in the house. We tried to teach her the rules, and she'd work a job like 2 days, and she'd come home, and it was like she had stayed at a Holiday Inn because she knew everything about the job. And it's like, wait a minute, you've been there 2 days. They're not going to put you in charge. What's wrong with you? So I don't know where it's come from, to be honest.
I really don't know either. All of a sudden I start sounding like a really old guy. But man,
we are.
Okay, well, yeah, all right, fine. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week, Rob. Okay, bye.
Well, as I said, we are. I threw myself in that pot.
Oh, man.
We can kind of drag Brian in with us.
Well, Brian's he's getting up there. Not really too much.
I was a boy.
That's right.
Yep, but anxiety I don't really suffer from. I hear people who have anxiety issues, and I can't really relate. I was always taught you tough it out.
That's pretty much what I was taught too, and I don't know. It's a different world, but there we are. We're just a bunch of old guys just kind of shooting the breeze here, Anyway, so
that's right. And we're going to start to talk about the weather
at some point. Yes. So what's the weather doing here?
Gorgeous. We've been great. I mean, we've been in between two storm systems for days now. The east coast of Massachusetts has had gusts over 40 miles an hour and rain day after day. They've had 1 to 2 feet of snow in the Dakotas. West of that, the Great Falls, Montana, yesterday morning dropped to 0. The earliest they've ever been that cold in 130 years of record keeping. But we're in the right place at the right time for one more day, and that's today. We're sunny through the morning. Any patchy fog or low cloudiness like the last couple of days disappears. Later this afternoon, some high clouds come in. We're partly sunny, 65. Sunrise was at 7:19 this morning. Sunset tonight at 6:34. Tonight, we're cloudy. We'll see lows right around 45. Cold front's going to move through tomorrow. That leads to clouds, scattered showers. Temperatures will be somewhere between 60 and 65. Showers in tomorrow night. Turns partly cloudy and chilly. Lows 35 to 40. Nice day coming up for Sunday. Lots of sun, 55 to 60. And I'll be unpolitically correct and call Monday Columbus Day. Lots of sun, highs around 60.
I believe it's Indigenous American Day in Maine, isn't it? Or Native American Day?
It could be. I'm not sure what they call it up in Maine. There's lots of things that have strange names in Maine, like some of the lakes and some of the people, some of the holidays.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll avoid Maine. I got to look this up. Strange names in Maine, eh?
Oh, yeah, look up some of the lake names in Maine, like Millinocket. Yeah, there's some interesting names up in Maine.
Alrighty. Okay.
The height of land.
Who?
The height of land.
The height of land? Now,
that's the name of an area of western Maine. The height of land.
The height of land.
Yep.
Okay, I definitely got to look this up. Okay, Rob, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you next...
Have a good weekend.
Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In postseason baseball, Game 5, American League Division Series, and the Astros beat the Rays 6-1 to advance their third straight ALCS. Houston scored 4 runs in the first inning off of Tampa starter Tyler Glasnow. They added 2 more insurance runs in the 8th. Jose Altuve had a home run, drove in a pair, and Alex Bregman 2 RBI as well. Plenty of run support for Houston starting pitcher Garrett Cole, who was great. 8 innings pitched, allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Houston will host the New York Yankees starting on Saturday with a ticket to the World Series on the line. In the NFL, Thursday Night Football saw the Patriots hold off the Giants for a 35-14 win. New England quarterback Tom Brady did not have a touchdown pass. He did have 2 short touchdown runs, but New England's defense was the star. They intercepted Giants quarterback Daniel Jones 3 times. They returned a fumble for a touchdown and also blocked a punt for a score as well. New England still perfect on the season, now improving to 6-0 on the year, while the Giants, with the loss, have dropped to 2-4 on the season.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A White House official says yesterday's talks with China had gone very well, probably better than expected. President Trump meets with China's vice premier at the White House today. Luxury clothing company Hugo Boss is predicting its sales in the current quarter will be flat. It's blaming slowing demand in North America and says business in Hong Kong has been substantially negatively impacted by political unrest there. Greg Foran, the executive in charge of Walmart's U.S. stores, is leaving to be chief executive of Air New Zealand. Foreign as a native of New Zealand, he led the turnaround at Walmart by improving its stores. He'll be replaced by John Furner, who has been running Sam's Club. The Dow up 150 yesterday. NASDAQ added 47, S&P up 18. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola. Invested in you.
Have you Googled yourself or business? Did you find negative content? If so, your reputation and business are suffering. Forbes reports with 2 negative articles, you risk losing 44% of new business. At Fix Your Name, we can hide or remove negative content. Request the Reputation Guide free. Call 877-FIX-NAME. That's 877-FIX-NAME. 877-FIX-NAME. Or visit fixyourname.com.
The Ryan Agencies, your local, independent insurance agencies. The Ryan Agency is not beholden to any one insurance company. They work with many companies, offering unbiased insurance advice. Their interest is seeking your best interest. Contact the Ryan Agencies, good people offering unbiased advice, seeking your best interest.
Insurance protection you can rely on. The Ryan Agency.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, New York, you'll find brand new 2019 Nissan Sentra SV models equipped with 16-inch alloy wheels, rear monitor, push-button ignition, and cruise control for just $15,999. Shop Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads or Hornell. Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okay, keeping up with this theme of mental health and hysteria and lunacy, how about this? A 13-year-old girl in Kansas arrested after making a gun symbol out of her fingers and pointing it at other students. Okay, so she's been arrested. So apparently this girl, made, like a gun with your fingers and pointed it at another student, and everybody got totally hysterical, called the cops, and the girl was arrested. The school district, the cops say the school district has a policy regarding intimidation, bullying, and actions that may be a threat. The Overland cops said in a statement to Newsweek, too often there are reports of violence in schools and inevitably questions about what could or done. Huh? That's not written correctly. And inevitably questions about, I'm going to say, what can or should be done to prevent the tragedy. Threats in schools are taken very seriously and treated appropriately. Like going bang at a kid. She didn't even go bang. She just pointed her finger at a kid. So, ensuring the safety of everyone in a school is a top priority and requires constant vigilance. Parents reminding their children of proper behavior in school and an understanding by the public that each case is thoroughly investigated before any arrest is made and a charge filed. So that's what the cops say. And she's lucky that they didn't throw her in a dungeon and put her on the rack. Okay? So she goes, she points her finger at a kid. Okay, that's very good. There's a little hysteria there. How about this? Let me see. How about this one? Memphis cop, and this is a cop in Memphis, Tennessee, allegedly assaulted a woman who tried to eat a hot dog after he told her not to. I'm not making this up. This is on Fox News. A Tennessee police officer was arrested, so the guy got arrested and relieved of duty after he allegedly assaulted a woman over a hot dog. Ralph Confer of the Memphis PD was on duty at Regional 1 Health Medical Center a day during which employees were holding a cookout in a police holding area. I don't know what the holding area would be. It's a medical center. Anyway, a medical technician who was also on duty asked if she could have a hot dog from the barbecue, and one employee there told her she could. So Confer, however, the cop, told the woman she could not have a hot dog. She left, but came back later and asked a second person if she could have a hot dog, but was told yes by that employee. At this point, the cop allegedly walked up to her and slapped the hot dog bun out of her hand, telling the woman she couldn't have any food. So then he picks her up and slams her head into a cabinet. So then he throws her on the ground, places a knee on her back, and handcuffs her. when she had I don't understand it. I don't understand this story at all. So anyway, the cop has now been relieved of duty, and so she wanted a hot dog and he arrested her or something? I don't get that. That's pretty strange. Anyway, that's kind of been the theme of this morning, and too bad I'm out of time because I have a whole bunch more here. Okay, fine, that'll wait until Monday, and I will see you Monday at 8:05. Bye.